This countdown gets a 7.8 out of 10. Too much water. Yo, what's up everybody? This is Junior Chicken here. We've gone through my favorite fire types. Now it's time to move on to my top 10 favorite water type Pokemon. Water types are the most abundant throughout the Pokemon games. Water attacks often involve harnessing water in a way that you can blast at your enemies or use physically. Water type Pokemon can actually be fairly helpful since they only have two weaknesses of electric and grass. Their attacks don't do much against grass and dragon types, but they can be super effective against fire, ground, and rock. Water type Pokemon are also strong against ice and steel type attacks. Now I'm not a big fan of water types, mainly because they're so abundant, but there still are some great water types out there that I really enjoy. So once again, these are my favorite water types based on their stats and distributions, abilities, concept and design, diverse move pools, and so on. Once again, only fully evolved forms, no mega evolutions, and this is only based on the game canon. I'm not counting anime or manga, this is purely on the main series games. Now with all that out of the way, let's get to it with my top 10 favorite water type Pokemon. I can already see people scratching their heads with me putting a behemoth like Kyogre at the bottom of this countdown. And even though Kyogre is quite the beast, it's just not as interesting to me as it is for other people, but still pretty cool, I guess. With that being said, Kyogre is definitely worthy of the title Ruler of the Sea. It's a true Leviathan. It's got a 670 base stat total, which is a bit lower than some other legendaries, but it's still got a really high special attack and special defense. Its ability Drizzle also adds to its power, increasing the power of water attacks while making it a bit more susceptible to thunder and hurricane. Whenever Kyogre hits the field, most competitive players will physically attack it to make sure they can save their skin before the next turn, because it will likely be packing Water Spout, a water attack with a maximum power of 150, but only if its HP is full. Still, Kyogre has plenty of water attacks like Hydro Pump, Water Pulse, and Scald to burn opponents. It doesn't have much type coverage other than a few ice attacks, Thunderbolt and Thunder for electric attacks, Ancient Power, and Signal Beam through Move Tutor. Even with Kyogre being at the bottom of this countdown, I'm willing to admit it's still one of the biggest threats in the metagame today, and one of the most powerful Pokemon out there. For a Pokemon that's based off of the Loch Ness Monster, Lapras really puts a nice twist to it. It may be slow, but its high HP and decent defenses means it will take a few hits before going down. Its water and ice type helps since its ice stabs can take care of grass, and its water stabs can take care of rocks. It's also got some pretty great abilities. Hydration as a hidden ability to get rid of status effects in the rain, or my favorite of the bunch, Water Absorb, turning water attacks into health recovery. For its move pool, Lapras has some pretty great water and ice attacks such as Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, Blizzard, Surf, and even Freeze Dry, but it also has Thunder and Thunderbolt for electric attacks, Bulldoze, which should take care of electric types, and even Psychic and Future Sight for those fighting types out there. I've even seen Dragon Dance sets that can make Lapras pretty threatening. It's definitely a Pokemon you want on your team whenever you want some durability, reliability, or just something to surprise your enemies with. This one is for all you Left Shark fans out there. Now I was thinking of putting Crawdaunt on this countdown to represent Gen 3 Water Dark types, but I like Sharpedo just a bit more. I mean, I can think of reasons why I shouldn't like Sharpedo. I mean, it's got a high attack stat of 120, but its defense and special defense suck. It's probably the best example out there of a glass cannon, since it can easily be knocked out in one turn, but its abilities do help it out a little bit. Rough Skin damages opponents that make contact with it, and its hidden ability Speed Boost can actually increase its speed every turn, making it a bigger threat over time. Its physical move pool doesn't have a lot of water type options, but you still have plenty of normal and dark physical attacks to use, like Night Slash, Crunch, and Return. But you also got Ice Fang to take care of some grass types, Bulldoze and Earthquake for electric types, or Bounce to take care of more than half of its weaknesses. It's the closest thing you can get to a real shark in any Pokemon game. But remember, in the real world, sharks aren't as deadly creatures as movies make them out to be. Man, Octillery is so underrated. Personally, I blame Jethrotex, but there's definitely more to this octopus than what meets the eye. This 480 base stat toll is pretty good, having some high attack and special attack with some low speed. I will admit, its abilities could be better. Sniper allows it to have more powerful critical hits, and Moody is much more of a chance-based hidden ability. But I swear, you gotta check out this guy's move pool. Not only does he learn Signal Beam, Aurora Beam, Ice Beam, Psy Beam, and Hyper Beam through leveling up alone, he also learns some pretty crazy TMs including Charge Beam, Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Sludge Bomb, and Flash Cannon. And that's just the special attacks. It also has a wide range of water attacks including Surf, Bubble Beam, Hydro Pump, and its signature move, Octazooka. Basically an ink-like attack which can lower the opponent's accuracy. Yeah, now you kinda wanna train this guy seeing the crazy moves that he gets. While we're still in second generation, let's look at the starter Pokemon. For Alligator is actually pretty interesting. The Pokedex depicts it as a savage that can tear its enemies up with its jaw and has pretty powerful hind legs. With high attack and defense, it has good physical power and bulk, especially when you get the Sheer Force ability, which powers up moves that have secondary effects. It also helps that Alligator's move pool backs up its offensive powers. With natural moves like Ice Fang, Crunch, Aqua Tail, and Super Power of all things, to TMs like Dragon Claw and Dragon Tail, Earthquake and Bulldoze to take care of electric types. You can even breed it to get the Aqua Jet priority move, and Dragon Dance, which will really make it a threat in battle, boosting its speed and attack. However, something tells me that Game Freak doesn't quite know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. How does a crocodile evolve into a crocodile and then an alligator? For Alligator is a menacing force to begin with, and definitely deserves to be my favorite out of the Johto starters. And that is no croc. Moving on to the next generation, we have Swampert. While my affinity for Blaziken is undeniable, I can say with certainty that Swampert is my second favorite Hoenn starter. While other water and ground types are designed mainly for absorbing damage, Swampert actually has some pretty good offensive power. It has a 110 attack stat and 100 HP. It may be a slow Pokemon, but as you've seen before, that doesn't really matter to you. Its water and ground typing helps it even further by giving it only one weakness of grass type attacks, even though it is a pretty deadly weakness at that. A lot of competitive players will breed Swampert in order to get Curse. This increases its physical power and bulk while lowering its speed. However, for physical attacks, Swampert is fairly limited when it comes to stabs. With that being said, there are plenty of physical attacks that Swampert can learn, including Hammer Arm, Takedown, and Rock Slide, naturally, Brick Break, Power Up Punch, and Stone Edge through TMs, and Outrage, Ice Punch, and Iron Tail through the Move Tutor. Yeah, Swampert is definitely one tough Pokemon, and stands out a lot compared to the other water ground types, which is why it made it on the countdown. Golduck has always been a Pokemon met with a lot of confusion. Why is it called Golduck when its pre-evolution better resembles the color of gold? Why is it even called a duck?
If anything, its design is more reminiscent of a platypus. Its base stat total of 500 is pretty evenly distributed throughout. It's also got some helpful abilities, such as its hidden ability Swift Swim, which makes it faster in the rain, and Cloud 9, which gets rid of weather effects, even primal weather effects, even though I think that actually might be a glitch. You've also got some great water attacks to play around with. You can even learn some cool attacks to get some type coverage against your weaknesses, like Dig and Mud Bomb for electric types, and Ice Beam, Blizzard, Aerial Ace, or Signal Beam for grass types. Along with fighting and normal type moves, Golduck learns a surprising amount of psychic type moves as well, including Psychic, Psyshock, Psybeam, Confusion, and Zen Headbutt.
Am I the only one that thinks that Golduck should also have the Psychic typing? Then again, I probably still like this next entry a bit more.
Now here is the true Water Psychic type. Slowbro has always been an appealing Pokemon to me with its silly and happy-go-lucky design. But trust me when I say he is more than just comic relief. Of course, the name hints that this Pokemon is rather slow, but its high special attack and defense means that it's durable and can dish out some pretty powerful special attacks. Give it Calm Mind and it starts to become a big threat. Give it Slack Off and it might be able to survive the entire match. Also gotta give credit to its abilities, which can stop it from falling in love, stop it from getting confused, and even regenerate its health whenever you withdraw it from the field. And its move pool, while not quite as crazy as Octillery's, still has some pretty ridiculous TMs that it can learn. From Focus Blast, to Grass Knot and Shadow Ball, to Fire Blast and Flamethrower. Of course, it can learn some good water attacks, and some good psychic attacks like Confusion, Psychic, and Psyshock. And if its speed is still a concern to you, Trick Room to the rescue.
Greninja. He's so freaking awesome, man. He's got that water and dark type. He's a ninja frog like that's never been done before. He has the fastest speed out of the 3 starters. And he's got the freaking protein ability that allows him to change any freaking type in the game. He can pretty much pick up any— Spike! If you really want a good water type from Generation 6, look no further than Klawitter.
I don't think you can comprehend just how cool Klawitter is. Its concept is based on the Manta Shrimp. With the ability to shoot sonic waves through the water, this resulted in Klawitter getting a huge frickin' claw, as well as a 120 special attack stat. Yeah, it may be slow, but big frickin' whoop. About half of the Pokemon on this list are slow. This gets even more ridiculous when you take its ability into account, Mega Launcher. This boosts the power of Pulse and Aura moves. And guess what moves Klawitter can learn naturally? All 4 moves that benefit from the Mega Launcher ability. Of course, you're not just limited to those attacks. I mean, Surf will do just as much damage as Water Pulse, and you've also got moves like Focus Blast, Shadow Ball, and Flash Cannon, and some coverage against grass types with Ice Beam, Venoshock, Sludge Wave, and Sludge Bomb. Klawitter is an underrated Pokemon that definitely deserves some more respect.
I hope you're happy, Dookie Shed, because I couldn't find any other water type that I liked more than Blastoise.
I've always found Blastoise to be a really cool Pokemon. It's a giant turtle with cannons attached to its shell. It's like the anti-Bowser, let alone that those cannons can shoot water streams that pierce through steel. Blastoise might not be that offensive, but his high defense and special defense gives him great durability nonetheless. He's got awesome water attacks, but you can also teach him Hydro Cannon, which has the same power as Water Spout, but isn't reliant on HP. Blastoise also has good coverage against electric types using moves like Earthquake, Dig, and Bulldoze, as well as grass types with moves like Blizzard, Ice Beam, Ice Punch, and Signal Beam. Give this thing an Assault Vest and Mirror Coat, and it might be able to knock out any special attacker. Give this thing a Toxic and a Protect and leftovers, and you might have a really good Stall on your hands. Give this thing Choice Specs and Water Spout, and you have something that's really fearsome. And I know you might be questioning my pick of Blastoise as number 1 when I give so much love to Charizard, but really, I love both of these guys to death, and I just happen to prefer Blastoise more. Blastoise is just cool all around. With great stats, a great move pool, and a cool concept, he's by far my favorite water type Pokemon. Mess with him, and you'll get shell-shocked.